Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Oh, welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Guess what today is? It is Patreon Day. Let's go, baby. It is Patreon Day. Hopefully you guys have been having a good week. It is Friday. My goodness. Some of you guys are like, I can't wait for the day to end so that way I can hit that weekend. And all I got to say to you guys is you lucky bastards. Man, you're lucky bastards. Because like for me, I work Tuesday to Saturday. So my Friday is until Saturday. So, you lucky bastards that work that Monday to Friday. Kudos to you guys. It's good to have you guys over here, man, on the beautiful Patreon. It's good to see you guys. We got a good episode for you, man. The week has been flying by, doing its thing. So hopefully, it's felt like that for you guys. I know it has for me. You know what I mean? All that good stuff. But without further ado, let's get on into today's episode. Our thread for today is, what's the thing you hate about sex? All right? So, what's the thing that you hate about sex? Performance anxiety. Yeah, facts. Because, bro, there will be times, all right, where you're just like, oh, you're texting a little fine thing. And I feel like guys really only get this. Girls maybe get this. I don't know. But I know for guys it does. You're just texting a girl and you're just like, oh, man, I like her so much. This is so great, blah, blah, blah. She's so fine, this and that. You finally get that moment to smash. And two things happen. All right, two things happen. One, you either nut super fast, or two, you can't get hard at all. Oh my! And if I'm being real with you, I'd rather nut fast than not be able to get hard at all. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Why? Because the girl, if you can't even get hard, she's just gonna be like, oh my god, you don't find me attractive. Oh my god, there's no way this is gonna work out. Yada yada. You know what I mean? If you nut fast, she's just gonna be like, okay, cool. He found me like so mad attractive that like, you know what I mean? He just nutted that fast. Now sometimes they think like, oh shit, he nutted super fast. Like, maybe he didn't really want to have sex with me like that, or I don't know. Like, I know women get in their heads, but it's just like, nah, bro, nah. These things happen because you are that fine. You know what I mean? You are that absolutely fine, bro. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, bruh, love that shit. You know what I mean? So that's my thing, is like, that's what I'm saying. My thing is, it's like one or two things going to happen. Now for a girl, I don't know what it would be for a girl to have, I guess, performance anxiety, because I mean, it's like, bro, all you gotta do is just lay there. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta do the work. We the ones that gotta get hard and all that stuff. So I don't know. Is there performance anxiety for a girl? Maybe on the inside. Maybe we don't see it and we don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Ladies, tell me, please, because I want to know. I want to know, is there performance anxiety, I guess, during sex with women? Because I don't think there is, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe like, no, because I was going to say maybe in like the terms of, you know what I mean? You guys are just like shy and you cover your face or something, but I don't know. You guys got to let me know. All right. Let me know. Is there performance anxiety with women during sex? All right. You guys let me know. All right. On to our next one. What's the thing that you hate about sex? Different sex drives can be extremely frustrating. Yeah. Especially if somebody has a really high and your partner has a really low. I always tell people that if your sex drives and your sexual compatibility isn't there, honestly, the relationship won't work. Because look, I get having the emotional connection. I get, having someone that gets you and all this other stuff in other ways. But if you guys can't have a sexual connection, that is going to frustrate the person that has the higher sex drive. And it's going to push them to cheat. It really is, bro. It's going to push them to cheat. It's going to push them to seek that out in somebody else. And the sucky thing about it is, if it's the girl, and she finds that sexual pleasure out of somebody else, well, guess what? The emotional's coming right behind it. You know what I mean? For the guy, he can kind of get away with it a little longer, but eventually he's going to have that emotional connection with another girl. Eventually it's going to get to that point, and that's what sucks, man. Because it's like you want to, have that, and you feel like, dang. And I think this is where a lot of relationships, I think, break off, because they get into a point where they're like, oh my God, everything in the relationship is great. It's just our sex life is kind of rocky, and the person with the low sex drives thinks like everything is fine. We're working it out. We'll get through it. It is what it is. While the person with the high sex drive, they are fighting demons every single day. You know what I mean? To not go cheat or not go find somebody who does have a higher sex drive or this and that. And it sucks because even for the higher sex drive person, they will go date a higher sex drive person, but they don't have anything else. They don't have the connection, the emotional, and all that kind of other stuff, but they go so based off of the sexual connection that they're just like, yeah, no, this is so much better for me. So then they break up with the person that they have the emotional connection with, but not the sexual connection with. And then, they end up in a shittier relationship. And so it's just like, dude, it's so hard to find that perfect balance with somebody. I truly think that the lower sex drive person needs to kind of find a way to bring that libido up, because the person with the higher sex drive, there's no way you're going to bring them down. That's not happening, so that's why I look at it like it would be easier for you to raise the libido than it would be to lower the other person's. Because if I'm being real with you, man, when it comes to sex, if you're a high libido type person, you're not giving that up. You're just not, dude. You're not giving that up no matter what you like. Yeah, you know what I mean? And so it is what it is, man, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah. So that's what I think is one of those things where it's just like, if you can't find that sexual compatibility, a lot of times the relationship's not going to work, because one of those two things are going to happen, and it really sucks. It really does suck. I've gotten a lot of scenarios like that on the show over the years that have just kind of really illustrated this point and have shown that people with higher sex drives, they just tend to be like, bro, I can't do this. I cannot do this. Bro, Pamela ain't getting the job done the way that it would with you. And it's just the way that goes, man. That really sucks. I get that. That's why something they hate about it. All right. What's the thing you hate about sex? The reminder, I really need to work on my cardio. Facts. Oh my God. Facts. Because it'll be one of those things where everything but your stamina is present in the bedroom. Bruh. You're just like, oh, my dick is hard, ready to go. Hips are functioning. Your mind, state, if you will. You're like, yeah, I'm in this, ready to go. My girl looking good as fuck. But for some reason, that stamina bar is just, it is yay big, bro. And you're just like, fuck, man. That's why a lot of times for me, personally, I just pace myself. You know what I mean? I get it though, because sometimes it'd be, say you go out, you guys had a great time. You guys were out having a good time. The sexual innuendos were hitting, the tension was building. It was perfect. You guys are like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then you guys get in that bedroom and you're just frantic about it. You're just frantic, like, oh my God, I just want to, ooh, you know what I mean? So I get it. You know what I mean? Because emotions and tensions get high. And so, you just be getting up in there, you just be jackrabbiting it. But a lot of times, man, you gotta pull yourself out of that for just a second to be like, no, pace yourself. Say, pace yourself. You can do it, man. Yeah, trust. That shit's hard. That shit is hard, bro. Oh my God, yes, dude. Because that stamina should be real. It be real, man. All right, what's the thing that you hate about sex? When my pet is staring like they're judging my life choices. I have said this so many times on the show. Where I look at animals as children, and I'm not going to have sex in front of my animals. I'm kicking them out of the house and or not the house. I'm sorry. I'm kicking them out of the room and I'm closing the door because, bro, I'm not trying to have you just laying on the couch while I'm piping down your mom. You know what I mean? Like, no, bro, or laying on the bed or anything like that. Or they're just sitting there, because it's food time. And it's like, no, you're going to be outside of the room while mommy and daddy are getting shit done. Like, bruh, yeah, I can't. Because I see animals as children. And so that's the only reason why I couldn't do it. Yeah, like, no. That's just weird to me. Okay. What's the thing that you hate about sex? That the boner dies after you nut. Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things where, bro, God had to nerf you. They had to nerf men in a way. You know what I mean? He was like, if dudes could nut and keep the boner, oh man, overpopulation would get crazy. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you gotta kind of be a quick recharger. Yeah, man, you gotta be a quick recharger. Be like, all right, give me 5 minutes and I'll be back up and ready to go. You know what I mean? Hey, you gotta be a quick recharge. But I get it. With time and age, you be like, yeah, man, my shit don't spring back the way it used to. I feel that. Because I be telling my younger friends and stuff like that, or younger coworkers and people that I work with and stuff, because they be asking me, they're like, dude, like I'm just fucking horny all the time. They're like, is that normal? And I'm like, yeah, bro. Yeah, you're fucking 22, my guy. Like, yeah, you're going to be popping boners all over the fucking place. When I was 22, I couldn't keep my dick soft to save my life. Like, let's be real, bro. I couldn't keep my dick soft to save my life. So, yeah, man, that's just the way it's going to be. And enjoy it. Enjoy it while you got it. This is not a curse, bro. It is a gift. It is a gift. Go find a bitch. You know what I mean? Fuck her nut, and then you can keep going. Yeah, I can't do that no more. I just can't. Don't get me wrong. I'm a quick recharger, but I cannot do the whole nutting and then keep going. I just can't do it. Just can't do it no more. I'm like, bro, you got that gift. Hold on to it. Treasure it. Because that's a gift, my guy. Shit. All right. Okay. What's the thing that you hate about sex? The cleanup. Facts. Because it's the least sexiest part about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, like, okay, everything is sexy. Like the build up, the tension, the act, everything in the middle. Then once you nut, you're just like, that clarity hits you both, and you're just like, damn, now we got to clean up, and it just looks weird. Yeah, I don't know. I always felt weird about it. I always felt weird about just like the cleaning up part of it, because I'm just like, we're disgusting. It's like jerking off, man. You know what I mean? You find like that great video, and in the moment, the video is hot as fuck. You're just like, oh my God. Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah, put your fingers in her mouth. Yeah. Oh my God. Thumb blaster butthole, and then you nut and you're just like, the fuck am I watching? Oh, that's disgusting. What the hell is he doing to her? I would never put my thumb in a girl's butthole. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying, bruh. It's like the cleanup aspect of it is horrible, not because the act of cleaning up or because it's nasty or messy. No. It's the post-nut clarity of what the fuck you were doing. And you're just like, why the hell was I doing that to this woman? Oh my God. My mother didn't raise me like this. You know what I mean, bro? Hey, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Oh, man. All right. What's the thing that you hate about sex? Sometimes I zone out during and think about how ridiculous sex is in the middle of it. Like, okay, you're sticking your penis into me, then taking it out. That's so weird. Then I kill my own mood. See, women be in their heads, bro. Oh my God, they're be in their heads too much. And see, I think it's because they can. Because a dude, look, okay, dudes, we have to do this thing where we have to like take ourselves out of it and then put ourselves back into it and take ourselves out of, because like we'll nut too fast. So, you know, we gotta do the whole think about baseball and, you know, think about it. It's why dudes like to fuck with the TV on, you know what I mean? Because as we're fucking, we're just watching the TV. We're just like, oh shit. Oh, you know, Family Guy. All right, you know, Futurama or whatever. And so we have to kind of like take ourselves out of that, because if we doze off on that kind of dude, we're just beep, and then we're just limp dicking you at that point. You know what I mean? But we have to kind of like we have to walk that perfect line of like, yeah, I ain't really thinking about it, but I'm thinking about it. I ain't really thinking about it, but I'm thinking about it. So yeah, that's one of those things where it's just like, dude. It's so hard to like walk that line perfectly. Oh man, but girls, they could just be like, you know, but the reason why I say a lot of girls like overthink or they think way too much is, you know, they don't just kind of let themselves just go and be in the moment. Yeah, I know that's something that was really tough for, a lot of, you know, girls that I dated in the past, where they were just so in their head. I'm just like, no, just let it, like, stop thinking and start feeling. You know what I mean? Just feel it. And if it feels good, lean into that. Don't think. Thinking like during sex just ruins it. You know what I mean? It just ruins it. It kills it. Like, no, bro. Don't think about, oh, I look stupid right now. Oh, this is so weird. I'm on my back with my legs open. Oh, this is weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's above me. Like, does he think I'm cute? Like, no, bro. No, just feel. That's all we're doing. Yeah, I don't think like, oh man, I look dumb right now. My butt cheeks probably look weird right now. No, I ain't thinking of none of that shit. I'm thinking about how these walls feel, man. How I'm clapping these goddamn cheeks. Like, bruh, that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, guys. Come on, ladies. All right, cool. We'll do 3 more and then win the thread. Okay, what's the thing that you hate about sex? Pregnancy scares. Facts, bro. Oh my God. And it gets to a point where like what I've noticed kind of nowadays, and it's not like, what do you say, frequent or, you know, anything like that. But I've noticed like a lot of girls will literally like, you hook up with them or whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden, you know, when they get their period, they're like, oh yeah, I didn't get pregnant, by the way. And you're just like, nigga, I didn't need to know that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're giving me a scare without even realizing I was being scared, you know? Because my thing is, like, we hooked up, we had a good time, it was what it was, I'm chilling, you know? But then you come out of nowhere texting me talking about I didn't get pregnant. Like, okay, was that a concern? Because, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's just like, bruh, like, was that a concern? Was that an issue? Did you think that you were pregnant this whole time? Like, what the fuck are we going on? Like, what kind of emotional distress did I put on this woman? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. You know? Like, what the hell, bro? Ay. All right. What's the thing that you hate about, that you hate about sex? Sudden intrusive thoughts about looking ugly when I'm about to come. See, and that's a girl. I know that's a girl that wrote that. I fucking know it because, bro, for some reason, women, look, this is like how much women are in their own heads. Why would you think that, or why would you even be conscious, or why would you be like conscientious of how you look when you're nutting, when the ahigo look is like considered the hottest, you know, like, I guess, coming face or whatever. Like, that face just looks ugly as shit, but every dude is like, yo, that's hot. You know what I mean? Like, again, I think you're just thinking about this way too much, bruh. Because the fact that, like, the ugliest, weirdest looking face, you know what I mean, if I'm being real with you, is considered hot and attractive. Like literally you're crossing your eyes and sticking your tongue out. You know what I mean? Like, bro, if anything, you would be like, yeah, you look retarded. Or you look like you got, you know, I don't know, a mental problem or something. You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's one of those things where it's just like, bro, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? And so that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like one of those things where you have to get out of your head and just feel. Just feel, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, stop getting in your head and just feel, dude. I don't get it. I really don't. I really don't. All right, on to our last one for this thread. What's the thing that you hate about sex? Like, my brain doesn't understand how to engage it. Like, I can tell when someone likes me and they tell me they want me, but I'm like, is there a key to start this machine? Do you need gas? Like, what's the play? Yeah, dude. When you think this, it's because you don't properly understand escalation. That's what it really is. And I think people like that, you know, they kind of think far too much about, like, oh my God, you know, I'm touching her. Does she think that's okay? Does she, you know, think that this is weird? And it's like, bro, you have to go off of what she does and not what she says. You know what I mean? Like, my thing is look, if you touch a girl, right, and she immediately jolts back at you, pull back, bro. Because that touch was completely unwanted. But if you touch a girl and she leans into it, you know what I mean? Then it's like, bro, you're good. Like, you know what I mean? You're good. She doesn't mind that physical connection, that physical contact. You're good. Now, if you touch her and she kind of just like freezes, then yes, pull off, because I think that in that moment, she wasn't expecting it. It was a surprise, but it could go 50-50. You know what I mean? And it's better to be safer than sorry and just kind of pull away. But then re-engage and try to, you know, escalate it in a different way. And I think escalation is important. You know what I mean? Because like I said earlier in the thread, you know, you need to build that, like, that tension, you know, between you guys, and escalation is the best way to kind of build that tension. And once you built that tension and you're kind of comfortable with it and you kind of understand the signs a little bit in her, and I get it, every girl can be different, but most of them will escalate the same way. If I'm being honest with you, yeah, you can escalate with small touch, you know, touch her hand, you know what I mean, touch her shoulder, waist, whatever it may be, and just kind of see how she reacts to a lot of those different touches. And then, you know, you can kind of gauge it from there. And so, yeah, once you learn escalation, dude, a lot of that, what you said, will just go out the window, if I'm being honest with you. It'll go right out the window, because you won't have that, like, I guess, anxiety of, oh my God, is this touch okay? Was what I'm doing fine? Does she think I'm weird? Because it's like, it'll go right out of your mind, because you'll be able to see her. She doesn't have to tell you. She doesn't have to say anything. You'll just notice from her body language, you know? And, yeah, I get it in the beginning, though. That could probably be like the worst part about it, because you're just like, I'm trying to escalate, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel you. All right, but that's going to be that thread, man. Hope you guys enjoyed that thread. Let me know down in the comments what it is that you hate about sex. All right. Love to hear it. All that good stuff. All right, this is the Patreon Day episode, so obviously there is no announcements. You guys are doing all the dang things, following us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as YouTube, downloading our episodes, rating us 5 stars, all that good stuff. So I do appreciate everything that you guys have been doing, all the support you guys have been showing, and you're over here on the Patreon supporting in the highest way possible. Appreciate that, and I love you guys so much. Without further ado, let's get into our scenarios for today, all right? Okay, our first one is great chemistry, but he kept bragging about other women. Was I right to leave? Damn. Like, bruh. Come on, man. Okay. I was seeing a guy for about a week, and we had really strong chemistry. A few days ago, we slept together, and afterwards, I felt like it made us closer. The physical experience was honestly really good for me, but the second time, he couldn't stay hard, and he seemed a bit embarrassed about it. After that, though, he started talking about his past experiences with other women. Like, he had a friends with benefits in another country when he was studying abroad, how many girls had been into him, and how they would initiate things with him. Hearing all that made me feel uncomfortable. It felt like he was bragging or trying to boast his own value. I also have some past trauma around this in previous relationships. Guys would compare me to other women, so now whenever a guy brings up another woman in that way, it triggers me. It makes me feel like they're trying to create a competition or manipulate me, which feels unsafe. So when I got home, I felt really bad and decided to bring it up and told him I didn't want to see him anymore. He apologized and said if he had known it would make me uncomfortable, he wouldn't have said those things. But now that I've ended things, I feel really sad and kind of regret it. Almost like a mini breakup. We had strong chemistry and were really compatible physically, so part of me is wondering if I was too impulsive. At the same time, I'm wondering that if I go back, it will undermine my boundaries and make me look like I don't stand by what I say, and that he might end up respecting me less. I don't think he would respect you less. Okay, I'm going to take it from the top, though. Him saying, like, okay, a lot of guys have this thing of like, oh, if she knows that, other women want me and stuff like that, then it's going to make her want me more. You know what I mean? A lot of guys kind of have that thought process-y. And to some capacity that is true. But it's not true in the form of like being in a relationship. It's one of those things where like it's an attraction trigger, definitely. And the reason it's an attraction trigger for women is the fact that it's called social proof. If a woman sees that other women are comfortable around this man, they think to themselves, okay, you know what I mean? The security factor of, is he a weirdo? Does he have like, rapist vibes? Is he, you know what I mean? Is he a weirdo? Is he the type of dude that like, other women kind of look at weird, whatever. Like it just kind of like initially kills that for them because they look at it like, okay, since other women are comfortable around him and all that kind of stuff, good. That kind of kills that for me. And I feel comfortable, talking to him and being with him in more of a, I guess, closed environment. And so in that way, yes, you know what I mean? Other women would be a benefit to you. But when you've already got the girl and you're already kind of like with her in that way, it doesn't benefit you really too much to have other women. I mean, it does in the way of like, if you guys are, if your relationship is kind of on the way out, you know what I mean? If the relationship is kind of on the way out, bro, it's at the point where it's just like, all right, cool. It benefits you to kind of have other women, because the thing is for you, you're not hung up on some girl that don't like you anyway, and you can just move on. And that's what benefits the guy. But the thing is like, when it comes to, you being like, oh yeah, my ex used to do this and my ex used to do that, I think on both ends that doesn't really work. You know what I mean? Even if a girl is just like, oh yeah, my ex guy used to do this and he used to do that and he used to do this, it just doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like when you're in a relationship, I think before the relationship, it works. I think it works from man to woman, not woman to man, because for a guy, we don't care if a bunch of dudes, you know what I mean, are cool with you, because we look at it like, oh, a bunch of dudes are cool with her, nah, never mind, I don't want her anymore. But it doesn't work the other way around. If a bunch of girls are cool with you, then the girl looks at it like, ooh, okay, that makes him attractive in the security aspect of things, because again, like for the reasons I mentioned, that he's not a weirdo, he's not a creep, he's not this, he's not that. Like if other women are, okay with being around him, then I can too. And so that's where I'm kind of like trying to get you on a basis level of like, okay, I think you're correct as far as him saying all this other stuff. Now, to the degree of like you had ended it with him and then you're like, oh, should I go back? It's like, you can go back, and I don't think he's going to respect you any less, just at the fact that he was like, oh, I didn't know that this is how that would make you feel. I think he does regret saying what he said, just because I think he genuinely didn't know that that's how you would feel about it. And so I do understand that how you would feel, I guess, internally, like, oh man, I'm giving up my boundary and all this kind of stuff. But I don't think he would see it that way. I don't think he would see it that way, because he would see it as like, oh, shit, I didn't know that that's how that made her feel. If I would have known that beforehand, I wouldn't have even brought it up. Like, fuck, you know what I mean? If she takes me back, like, then I know, like, I just shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? I don't think he would sit there and just be like, all right, sweet dude, she took me back. Fuck this bitch. I respect her less. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that would happen. I know if it was the other way around, to where if the dude broke up with a girl and then got back together with her, the woman would see him as less. And the reason being is because for men, we have to kind of stand on what we say. And if we don't, that's why I always tell guys, if you break up with a girl, do not get back together with her, because now she just respects you less. Because she looks at it like, okay, cool, no matter what I do, this dude just comes back to me. I can go cheat on him. I can go fuck 15 dudes and, you know, he'll break up with me, but he'll come back to me. You know what I mean? That's why women have that kind of hubris of just like, oh, he'll be back. Oh, don't worry. He'll be texting me, wanting me back. You know what I mean? Like, that's why women have that hubris. And that's why a lot of times women won't even take a guy back. After something like that, after they, you know, the guy breaks up with them, because they look at it like, ha, look at you. You're crying and groveling, wanting me back. Like, bro, no, women will respect less of their partner after getting back together with them. Not men. Men don't do that, just because men look at it like, oh, she broke up with me for this specific reason. Okay, cool. If she takes me back, then I just won't do this one thing. He'll do other things that will probably piss you off and make you mad, but he won't do that one thing. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the man's mind versus the woman's mind. Like, our minds are very differently. And I am correct in this assessment because of the fact that you're asking the question of, will he respect me less? Because you know that if this was flipped and you guys got back together, you would respect him less, because he went back on his word. He broke up with you. He was so determined to break up with you. You know what I mean? He walked away from the relationship, and all of a sudden now he wants you back. You have less respect for him. You would probably get back into that relationship because of the good chemistry, but you would have a little less respect for him. And you know that you would. You can't sit here and be like, no, I wouldn't, and all that. No, you would. You would, because to some capacity, you're thinking to yourself like, wow, this guy doesn't have as much integrity as I thought he did. Wow, this guy doesn't really stand on what he says as much as I thought he did, because it's all a trust aspect. If you can't trust what he is saying and that he does what he says he's going to do, then how could you respect that in him? It's the truth. And you know that that's the truth. You can sit there and fight it all you want. And, oh, no, I don't see it like that. And, oh, no, but it's different. And, nah, but trust me, it's going to come to a point where he says he's going to do something. He doesn't follow through with what he says. And then you're thinking to yourself, damn, you know, mad loss of respect. I knew this is how you were going to be, because you over here, you know, had this big and buff chest, you know, when you're breaking up with me, and all of a sudden you want to get back together with me. You know, you don't do what you say that you're going to do, and you're going to use that against him. Women load this magical revolver without realizing they do this. You know what I mean? They will sit there. Oh no, I don't do that. Oh no, I don't think it's that way. No, you do know. Because you're the one loading the revolver. Because the moment, and I mean the moment, something happens, you're going to bring it up. You're going to spin that spindle and be like, wow, oh, but what about this? And remember this? And oh, back in, 2013 at 565, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's like you guys are loading this magical revolver without even realizing that you're doing. And then you're sitting there under the guise of, oh, no, I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't less respect him. No, you're doing it without unconsciously knowing you're doing it. Women do a lot of shit that they are unconsciously not even knowing that they're doing, and then when they get called out about it, they're like, no, I don't do that. What? No, but your actions prove it empirically. And that's the thing. And that's why a lot of times the saying, don't listen to what she says, listen to what she does, is a such prominent saying, because it's like, bro, you could say whatever, but your actions do not prove that at all. And that's the reason why I look at it like, if you're a guy and you're going to break up with your girlfriend, you stay broken up. Now for you, I look at it like if you get back together with him, I think it would be different because you broke up with him. You know what I mean? So since you broke up with him, you know what I mean, and you're the one asking for the relationship back, I don't think he would lose respect for you. He would just not do that one thing that you told him not to do. Not saying that he's not going to do other shit that will probably, hit you in the same way. Because that's surely going to happen. Say you get back together with him and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, cool. I'm not going to do that. But then he does something else and you're just like, and it makes you feel the same type of way. You know what I mean? So if you do get back together with him, you're going to have to like really lay shit down and be like, hey, this is not the only thing that I don't like that you do. Like, I don't like this, and this as well. And come at it like that. But he's not going to lose respect for himself. Now, your boundaries, that's a personal thing. You know what I mean? I can't sit here and tell you that, you're not going against your boundaries or you are. That's up to you. That's your personal thing. I can't sit here and be like, oh, no, you're not going against your boundaries because of this. Oh, you are going against your boundaries. No, that's up to you. People are going to flex their boundaries for certain people regardless. You know what I mean? They are. They're just gonna flex their boundaries. Some people, they're stricter with their boundaries. Other people, they're more lax with their boundaries. That's just up to you. You know what I mean? Is this a guy that you're gonna be strict with your boundaries on, or is this gonna be a guy that you're lax on your boundaries on? It's up to you. I can't sit there and tell you, you know what I mean, if it's crossing your boundaries or not. That's kind of on you. That's a personal thing. But as far as the respect thing, he's not going to respect you less just because you get back together with him. He's just not. What he's going to do is he's just not going to do that one thing anymore. But he'll probably do other shit that pisses you off. Let's be real. Unless you say that, hey, these are the things that I don't like. So I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about it in the comments though. All right, on to our next one, how to deal with competition. I need advice. So I matched with this guy on Hinge. He liked me, who's a soccer player. We're really getting along, but I'm really put off by the fact that he definitely is a player. I looked through his following, which is only like 200 people, and it's all Instagram baddies / influencer types who follow him back. There's no way in hell I can compete with them. I'm pretty average. Should I just cut him off because I really hate competition? And I don't even know why he would want to see me anyways when he has all these gorgeous girls in his Insta. You want to know why he wants to see you is because you're that low-key girl. Look, women need to understand that IG baddies and influencers and stuff like that, these are girls that are great to fuck, but they are not great girls to date. They're not. Because these bitches are so insufferable that it's painful. Because the thing is for women to be an influencer in general, you have to be solipsistic to some degree. You have to make it all about you. You have to stand on business. Everything that you say is being recorded. Everything that you do is being recorded. And I know this as being, somewhat of a influencer, if you will. I don't consider myself an influencer, but I know there are people that weirdly do. And so my thing is, since I do put myself out on the internet and I do talk about, I would say, I guess, controversial topics, if you will, and I usually have not popularized takes, I do stand on what I say about things. You know what I mean? People backlash me all the time because I don't take the more popular route, and I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to sit here and be fake for anybody. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be fake because you feel I should be. Like, no, I'm going to be 100% real. And if that offends you, then bye. You're not a person that I care to have, following me or watching my shit. And so it's one of those things where it's like, you have to understand that influencers in general, they have to be very solipsistic. They have to be all about them. They're all about me and everything like that. And so these type of women are never great to date. And so that's why a lot of like really successful guys, they're going to go after the girl that nobody knows because you're not like that. You're a little more humble. You're a little more like grounded, a little more down to earth. You know what I mean? They can have a real conversation with you. It's not always about influencers or influencing and social media and brand deals and this and that. And, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. No, you're kind of more interested in him. You're kind of more interested in like what he's got going on. And that way he can be more interested in you and what you have going on. It's more of a mutual. It's not like she's so interested in herself that all she wants to talk about is herself. She doesn't even really get to know me, but she thinks that she's getting to know me by talking about herself. And that's kind of how like dating influencers goes. They're so like bogged up and in their own bubble because they're so used to everyone talking about them. Think about it like this. They go out into the world, and when people walk up to them, they're like, oh my God, I watch your stuff all the time. You're so funny. You're so this, that, or whatever on TikTok, Instagram, whatever it may be. The conversation is always about them. No matter who they're talking to, the conversation is always about them because of their perceived persona online. So when they go on a date and it's time to get to know a person and talk about someone other than themselves, it's very hard for them to do that because they're so used to the conversations always being about them. And that's where the whole solipsisticness comes in, and it brings about this level of just annoyance. Like, if you're going to be on a date and just talk about yourself the whole time, what's the point? Why am I even here? You know who you are. You don't know who I am. I thought you were on this date to get to know me, not you continuing to talk about yourself the entire time. You know what I mean? It's a very one-way conversation, and it really sucks. And that's why I think where a lot of successful guys come from is they look at it like, yeah, I have access to these IG baddies, and yeah, I have access to these really attractive women, but I don't want them. And the reason I don't want them is because all they do is talk about their Instagram. All they do is talk about their social media. All they do is talk about brand deals. All they want to talk about is their job. That's it. I don't care. I don't care. Like, sorry to say it, but successful men don't give a fuck about women's money. They don't. They don't care what you do for a job. They don't care about your education. They don't care about any of that stuff. They'll sit there and pretend, oh, you went to school? Wow, that's great. Oh, man, that's fantastic. In the back of his mind, he's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. You know what I mean? What I want to know is more intimate details. You know what I mean? I want to know, like, oh, what do you like to do for fun? And what are things that you enjoy? Have you read a book before? You know what I mean? If you've read a book, what is your favorite book? I want to know these things. I don't care about your job. I don't care about your accolades. I don't care about any of that stuff because you care about that stuff. I don't. You care about my accolades. I don't care about yours. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference in dating. And a lot of women think that men care about their accolades. And if I'm being honest with you, if you're dating a guy who does care about your job and how much money you make and all that kind of stuff, that's a red flag. All right, that dude is there because you're more successful than him and he's just mooching off of you. Let's be real. Any dude that cares more about a woman's money and is sitting there like, oh, bitches are broke. All right, bro, I know exactly the type of dude that you are. Your girl makes more money than you. You're the type of dude that, you ain't really leading shit in your relationship. Let's be honest. You're just not. You ain't leading shit in your relationship and you're just kind of using your girl. Let's be real. You're using her and she don't even really know. You know what I mean? And I see it all the time. There are dudes that sit there and like, oh yeah, no, I don't fuck with broke bitches and this and that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, you're broke yourself. That's what that is. That's what that tells me. A guy that actually has his shit together and actually has his money on point, trust me, he's not going to care. He's not going to care about how much money you make. He's not going to care what your job is or what school you went to or any of that stuff. You care about that. And that's fine. Women care about that. They want that in a man. And that's why they think it's reciprocal and it's not. And so it goes back to my point of like, this guy wants to date a more average girl like you because you're not online. You're not online. You're going to walk into that date wanting to get to know him, and he's going to want to get to know you. You're not all about, your job and you're so stuck in your own, you got your fists so far up your own fucking ass, you can't have a proper conversation. You know what I mean? You're going to be the type of woman that can come to the table and we can have a dinner and we can talk like two human beings, And again, women, for some reason, they just look at it like, oh, you don't want this like super IG baddie, blah, blah, blah. No, bruh. No, because I know what comes with that. Like, yeah, she's beautiful on the outside. Like, okay, IG baddies are like hoarders, okay? If you look at a hoarder's home, right, it looks beautiful and normal on the outside. And then you walk in and it's just a absolute pigsty dump. That is the pinnacle of IG baddies. All right. On the inside, they are the worst fucking people on the planet. And you want to know why they're the worst fucking people on the planet is because they see the worst of just everybody all the time. Because think about it. If you're constantly having air just pumped into your head, and you just think that you're better than everyone, bro, you're going to have this idea of smugness about you that is just extremely arrogant and annoying, and you're gonna just be like, bro, and you don't see that because obviously they're portraying this persona of, oh my god, I love everybody and peace and love and all this stuff, but behind the scenes, dude, they are the worst fucking people. They're the people you see on TV that are throwing coffees at people, and they're just like, oh my god, why didn't you have this done for me, and did it, like, bro, they're those type of people, and you don't want to fucking deal with that. You don't. And there is an extreme minority of girls that have a following and are able to still be down to earth. Majority of them, though, are just absolute bitches, bruh. They are. And it's just like, again, they're beautiful on the outside, but on the inside, they're just disgusting. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it goes, dude. So, hopefully that gave you a little perspective, I guess, on why he wouldn't really, like, he has access to these IG baddies, but he's like going after a girl that's more of you. It's not necessarily competition. It's more of just the fact that that's a competition you put on yourself. It's more of the fact that he looks at you as a little more like grounded, a little more realistic. And you know what I mean? As to where he looks at the other girls is they're just kind of fake, solipsistic, and just annoying and insufferable to be around. Just is what it is. So that's what that is. You guys let me know what you think about it in the comments, though. All right. On to our next one. How do I tell him I am no longer interested? Damn. I've been speaking to a guy on a dating app consistently for about a month. He runs his own business and is usually busy. So it took a while for us to find a day that works for us both. We've now planned a date and have spoken on the phone. The issue is that he looks quite a bit older than his photos on the app. And I'm just not feeling attracted to him. He seems genuinely lovely and there are no red flags, which is why I feel so bad about it. I'm struggling to find the courage to tell him. Should I go on the date and see how it feels or cancel and be honest? I don't want to hurt him, but I also don't want to lead him on. Yeah, it's best to just kind of be honest. You know what I mean? And I think honesty is the best policy. I think what a lot of girls are afraid of is that they're going to tell the guy, oh, I'm not really interested in like this and that. And the guy is just going to like flip out and get frustrated and get mad and stuff like that. And this is why guys get frustrated and flip out and mad, is because a lot of women are honest. Okay, what they'll do, and what I mean by that is what a lot of women will do is they will kind of beat around the bush. They'll kind of be like, oh, well, I just didn't feel like comfortable about it. And I just, there's like, bro, be straight up honest, because all that's doing is frustrating the guy. You know what I mean? And that's what kind of gets a guy to that point where he's just like frustrated because he knows you're beating around the bush. He knows you're bullshitting. And he's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you don't respect me enough to be honest with me and just tell me that you don't find me attractive, or that, because a lot of guys will do this. They'll be like, oh, so you don't find me physically attractive. Oh, so you don't this and that, because they already know that this is what you're thinking. And the girl will sit there, no, it's not that. It's not that. No, it's just like, I just don't see, really this happening because, And all that does is frustrate the guy because he's like, I know that that's what it is. Why are you lying to my face? It's like if somebody is lying directly to your face and you know the truth, you're going to feel some type of way about it. You're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel annoyed. You're going to feel a little pissed off because you're like, bro, you're lying to my fucking face. I know it. I know that this is what it is. Why are you lying to my face? So my thing is be honest with the guy. Let him know, hey, look, I'm not feeling it because your pictures and you don't really match. I don't know why it is that you felt the need to use younger pictures than yourself. I just kind of feel a little lied to. And that to me just kind of makes me feel a little uncomfortable. I don't really like that. I don't like the fact that you did that. You know what I mean? And that'll allow you to kind of, and he'll be just, obviously he's going to push back and, oh, well, I used pictures because of this and that and And it's like, okay, well, hey, I felt that this, you started this wrong and I don't really vibe with this. Just be 100% honest. I feel like the more honest that you are with the guy, the better off it's going to be for the both of you. And you'll be able to walk away from this kind of more amicably, because the only thing that makes guys do that is the whole frustration of like, bro, you're lying to me and I know you're lying to me. So I hope that gives you a little perspective just on like how to really go about it. Cause look, I get it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, give him a shot, give him a chance, see where things go. No, because if it's just not there, it's not there and it's never going to be there. What I've noticed about women is once women have kind of, this may sound harsh, but like categorize you, it is very, very hard for them to uncategorize you elsewhere. You know what I mean? It is very hard for them to do that. Like once a woman sees you as a friend, it's very hard for her to unsee you as a friend. Once a woman kind of sees you as like, oh, he's just some dude that helps me out, this and that, it's very hard for her to unsee you as that. Can she unsee you as that? Yeah, but it's going to be very, very hard for her to unsee. Like you're going to have to put in work, and I don't know if that's work you want to put in. You know what I mean? If I'm being honest with you as a guy. Some guys do it. I think they're stupid for it. That's why the friend zone exists. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But that's my thing is like, since you kind of see him in this light, it's going to be very, very hard for you, even if you do give him a shot, for you to see him differently. It's going to be extremely hard for you. You're going to just be like, dude, nah, I can't do this. Yeah, I can't fucking see him differently. I can't see him in that way. Like, just can't do it. So that's just how that is. All right. Let's get into our last one for today's episode. The hasn't replied for over 12 hours and my friend saw he was currently active on Tinder. Bruh. Cooked. Absolutely cooked. Bro. Okay. I've met up 4 times with someone I met on an app. We had sex on the 4th time, hanging out. We've never we've never been huge on chatting on WhatsApp, but lately it feels even less. We had sex the last time we saw each other. I tried to initiate plans, which he said he couldn't make. I definitely feel like communication should be better and in test. Okay. And insist I should get stronger after sex, but I feel like it hasn't. We have vague plans to do something on the weekend, and he hasn't replied to my last WhatsApp. My friend saw him on the app that showed currently active, which stings a bit. I do like him, but at the moment, I feel like the last option. He's keeping the door open just in case something else doesn't work. How should I bring this up? And should I tell him how I feel and just wish him the best and move on? I think you shouldn't say anything to him and just move on, because literally he wanted to have sex with you and dip. This was a pump and dump situation, hit it and quit it, however you want to phrase it. You know what I mean? Yeah, tap it, bag it, and rag it, whatever you want to say, bro. He just wanted to have sex with you. That was it. He saw you, was like, ooh, this girl's interested in me. Cool, I'm going to put the little work in until I get some cheeks. Once I get some cheeks, I'm about that bitch. You know what I mean? And you don't realize it because you're so into him and you're so, like, oh my God, this guy is great and this and that, bro. He don't like you. He just doesn't. It's plain and simple to see. He doesn't like you. He doesn't want to be with you. It's a hit it and quit it. He got what he wanted. You know what I mean? Call him an asshole, call him this or that, whatever. But my personal thing is I think you should just move on. Take your dignity and what's left of it and just move on, baby girl. Because that's what happened. You know what I mean? He's a piece of shit for it. I get it. But it's what happened. You know what I mean? It's what happened. So, yeah, man, there's not much I can say on this one. It's plain and simple. If he hasn't texted you back in 12 hours, because you got to look at it like this. If a guy is really interested in a girl, especially after sex, he's going to want to see you immediately. You know what I mean? He's going to be like, when is the next time I get to see you? Why? Because he's going to want to have sex with you again. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about here? He's going to want to fuck again. He's going to want to have sex with you again. So that's my thing. Is like, if he's really interested, he is going to be texting you immediately. Like, when is the next time I can see you? Can't wait to see you again. Oh, I found this little, I don't know, bodega or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, let's go do this, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be dying to see you. You know, like you said, the communication should get stronger. The connection should get stronger. But the fact that it didn't goes to show you that, he hit it and quit it. And I think you don't want to have that be the reality. I think that's what's going on here is you're fighting so hard. Like, no. It wasn't a hit and quit it. It wasn't a one night stand. It wasn't no, not me. This can't happen to me. This would never happen to me. It happened to you. Yeah. You're just and the sooner you accept it and move on, the better. And I get it. You're going to feel used. You're going to feel shitty and you're going to feel this and that. And I get it. But that's his problem. You know what I mean? That's on him, dude. You know what I mean? That's what he did. And I don't think that you should like change who you are and change your ways or be more cautious or anything like that. No, I think you just kind of got to understand that, hey, there are going to be people that are like that. You know, it is what it is. You thought you had a connection. You made a mistake. It's okay. It's fine to make a mistake. It's okay. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like the next guy that you meet, don't sit there and be like, oh, I'm not going to sleep with him on the 4th date because the last guy just pumped and dumped me. No, because this guy is not that guy. You know what I mean? That guy is that guy. This guy is this guy. So if you get to the 4th date and you feel like, you know what, I do want to sleep with this guy, do it. I hate when women do that crap. I hate when they're just like, oh, because this guy did me wrong, this guy is going to do me wrong. Like, no, bruh. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That guy was that guy. He was a piece of shit and you left him alone. This guy is this guy. Okay? You let him, show you that he's a good guy and he's not going to do that to you. And if you feel comfortable like, I want to have sex with this guy, you do it. You know what I mean? You do it. And have that confidence in yourself. A lot of women sit there and they hold themselves back from really great guys because of a past shitty guy. And it's like, no, don't let a past shitty guy hold you back from a future good guy. You know what I mean? Like, bro, don't do that. No, treat every guy as if they are a clean slate. That's what I do. I don't care how bad a girl has done me in the past. I will treat every woman as a clean slate. I'll be like, just because my ex did this or a past girl did that doesn't mean that you will. And if you do it, oh well, I'm going to go ahead and just put you on in that category and it is what it is. And I'm going to move on, take what's left of my dignity and move the fuck on. And I think that's what you need to do too. But you need to come to the realization first that you were just a booty call. You were just a one night thing. You were just a pump and dump. It was what it is. As harsh as it is to say it, you need to come to terms with that first. Then move on and then meet someone else, have that clean slate, all that. So you guys let me know what you think about it in the comments as well as everything we've gone over today. That's going to be today's episode, man. Love you guys and appreciate you so much for being here on the Patreon. I love you guys. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys on Sunday for another juicy episode. Yeah, that's going to be your boy. I love you guys all. Appreciate you. Peace.